You are not anymore kids, you are 18 years old young adults. And for example, if I'm thinking about my own life, then 7 years elder, I was in charge of school of more than 1,000 students and 60 teachers. So your responsibility and decision-making time could come very fast. And from school side and policymakers side, to involve students into leadership issues, to give them possibility to be responsible. It is one part of educating them for the further life. So it's like hidden curriculum in the everyday school activities. But now we can go further on with school heads and municipality representatives, what they are thinking about these issues, what were talked and discussed just now. And our Latvian colleagues, Inta and Guntra, please, floor is yours.
The second panel, I would like to ask to participate head teachers and municipality representatives, and I would like to ask to take seats Danute Kazakevičiene, a school principal from Vilnius Vilēšu Progymnasium.
She is absent.
She's not here.
Yeah.
Okay. So Igor Grigorievs, our Latvian colleague, school principal from Zakrumuižas Primary School, and Igor also was one of the speakers in webinars. And if you are interested in particular what Igor was talking about in one of the webinars, you have to go and listen to his presentation there. And the next speaker is Thomas Krusimagi, and the school heads representative from School Heads Association from Estonia. And we already heard Thomas' opinion today. And I would like also to welcome here Signe Neimanen from Riga City Council. And Maija Kokare, also representing Latvia and Riga Region Municipality. And Juri Ginter from Tartu City Council. So as the group is not very big, I would like to ask participants to give a short visit card to introduce with your background and how you, what has been your career and to your current position. And okay, please, Igor, can we start with you?
Hello everyone. Oh, it's loud. My name is Igor, and I'm a principal of Zakrumuižas Primary School. We have kids from 1.5 years to 15 years old, a small school of 280 kids, and I'm a principal for the third year. And that's it at the moment.
My name is Thomas, as said earlier, and I'm a very slow learner. I'm still in school. As a head teacher at this moment, also as president of the Estonian Head Teachers Association and representing the organization also in the European School Heads Association, the former president of which, Chris Harrison, unfortunately has left. Being a teacher by profession, and also a parent of two grown-up children.
I am Signe and representing here Riga City Council, but my work is in the Education and Information Center of Riga City. I am head of this center, and we deal with professional development of teachers and school heads.
I am Maija Kokare. I represent Riga Region Municipalities, but I have been working as principal for more than 12 years and also teaching physics for about 25 years. So I have been in almost all these positions which are represented here.
My name is Juri Ginter. I have to say that I have never been a teacher
but I'm a parent of 4 children, and I have also 3 grandchildren. And as it is said, I'm a member of the Tartu City Council. I'm also the member of Kaukvere Special School School Board, and I'm also a member of the Estonian Educational Forums Board. I think I will not tell all my biography. So.
Thank you for telling us. Now I would like you to, as we say, step back and try to remember what the previous panelists said. And I would like you to say your opinion. Do you agree, disagree? Is it that what is already going on in your municipality, school? Some thoughts about the previous panel. Who will start?
Just, I think this previous panel was quite interesting, unfortunately very short, and the opinions were quite different, so it is very difficult to say what is the common understanding. And what to say about the situation in Tartu. I think we have the same problems. We do not have just this common understanding what we want to achieve. So maybe we are speaking about many technical things and not so much about the main things. And of course, also, I think the main problems in the first panel, it was told it is trust, and also how to encourage people, and also the idea just that schools are ready to take risks and just will not be punished when they will make some mistakes. I think it is just a very big challenge, because I think since now we are afraid of making mistakes, and just we do not take risks.
Well, it was a bit sad when I was listening to the first panel. We have been talking for 3 days about equity, about learning together, and so on and so on. But we are separated in 3 panels: municipality, parents, students, and afterwards ministry coming. It would be very nice if we could sit round a huge big table and discuss our things together. And we had this possibility for our Latvian team, because we have students with us, parents, municipality, school head, and not a ministry, but sort of ministry. And we have met in this group for the first time. We didn't know mainly each other, and it was excellent discussions about how to work together. So I hope that in next meetings it might be possible to mix the groups and to speak together about things we are interested in.
Thank you very much. From this point, I would like to go on that in Estonia, we do have quite a lot of consultation between different organizations. All the drafts of Ministry of Education and Research will be or are delivered to school heads, students associations, parents associations, also local municipalities, and depending on the themes, there might be different focus, different scale of communication. But there's I would say, at least some activity between those organizations and associations. Is it enough? No, it can always be better. But it depends a lot on the time allocated for the non-governmental organizations to have their say in the policy issues. And as we learned yesterday, in the UK, or sorry, in England, the government is in a hurry, and so it seems to be also the problem in Estonia. But before, as to the previous session, there are 4 points I would like to make. But before that, I have one question to address the room. We've been talking about distributed leadership yesterday and the day before yesterday. How many of you use it in your family? So let's start from that unit, family. If we don't use it in your family, in our family, how can we expect that the children learn distributed leadership? How can we expect that happen? Then we rely on the school entirely. And that takes me to point one, that is, what we have done in my school is that we understand that there is a paradigm shift needed. As it was also in the previous panel, the students were talking their mind, and they said that we are not afraid of doing things. The older generation as if being afraid. That is quite true. And therefore we need to incorporate and take parents back to learning. We've done it on a school basis. We've initiated a parent academy already for 3 years, and trying to get through to parents, because the children, the students will do anything, but sometimes the blocks are there by the parents. The second thing is think global, act local, a well-known manifesto. But what it takes is to have a big picture and then listen to the local school community, which is desires and aims. If you are not going to do that, you are pretty much failing in your task. And the third point, proactive versus reactive. We can always limit ourselves to the deficit of money, but there are certain things which we can do without it. If you have 500 students in your school, think you have 1,000 experts, your parents. The parents are knowledgeable, they have enormous amount of wisdom, which can be used, they can be incorporated and used in school without money. In student parliaments or with student body activities, educating them, learning them, or training the school staff together with the parents. Enormous opportunities. And proactivity means act first, and most probably then the local governments will understand and support you financially, or in other ways, patting you on your shoulder and saying, well, you've done a good thing, we are working out the model for the school, etc., etc. So, and the last point I wanted to make is that in the world of the 21st century, I strongly believe in the fact that everybody is a leader, and we can't do without it.
Hard to follow after that. I'm getting more pessimistic in the sense that so many things should have been done by now, and so little I have done by now in involving parents. What I have done, I have trusted parents a lot. But trust without support, and it was told yesterday, and trust without support is meaningless. What I get is a parent and student council that assembles, talks for 2 hours, does nothing, and goes home. And I'm utmost for distributed leadership. That's why in the first year I led the council meetings, and I knew it wasn't right, and I told to the council leader, you have to do that. And in these 2 years, almost nothing has happened. We assemble, we talk a bit, and nothing happens. So while I see that more and more trust and responsibility should be given to parents, there must be structures in place to teach them to lead. To be honest, I don't think I'm the one who should do that. But as with so many things that our school does just because no one does them, this seems to be another thing we will have to do, and I will have to do over and over and over top of my responsibilities to get the thing going. And that makes me a bit pessimistic. That I have to go step and step forward into areas that are not my direct responsibility, sometimes neglecting areas that are my direct responsibility in order to get school council going as it should. Pessimistic about it, but what you know, you have to do that.
Well, I would just encourage you to go on, because you can neglect some of the policies by the government, but don't neglect your community. Take the initiative, be the leader, and find the parents who come with you, and promote them into those positions, and you'll get a breakthrough. It takes some time, I know, and sometimes we leaders think we don't have that time. But we can, at least if we can start something, and we can see the fruits, then we've done a good job.
Thank you, Thomas. And I thank everybody else for giving their opinions and reflections, and thanks for cheering up our school leader. Signe brought some issue on board, and that's why Dangola is here, and she would like to answer your question regarding why we are here as we are separately.
Yes, it's a very good point. As discussing how to organize this roundtable discussion, we also had an idea to have a roundtable and involve them in discussions. But later we decided to give equal time limit, 1 hour, for different stakeholders, and we wanted to give an opportunity for us to listen to more carefully to how to say, the youngest representatives, because we are very clever and wise, and we know what to talk, and usually in roundtable discussions we are talking a lot, and it's very hard becoming for us to listen to our colleagues, parents and students, and it was a reason why we gave them the first possibility to talk and possibility for us to listen to them. Okay.
For learning, like networking, and now I would like to ask you how you as school heads and how you are as municipality people can take those things on board. First question will go to school heads. However, Thomas is not really a school head, but he represents association. And what I would like to ask, how do you think, in what way local municipalities can support you in the process providing equity in learning?
First of all, on a daily basis, I work in the school as head. My school is around 700 students from age 7 to 19. The municipalities, first of all, they've got to recognize, they've got to know what the municipality is about. And what the municipality will be about in 25 years' time. And in this respect, most probably nobody can speculate what the world is like in 20 years. All we have to do is to build our education and our society on values. And if we want the society to be sustainable for a longer period of time, then we have to establish a constructive, efficient dialogue and trust the school leaders and school people, and parents, the whole community, and find either structures or whatever support they need to build on values.
So trust and values are the key words.
I think that the first thing is a buy-in into equity. In my school, in my municipality, there are a couple of deep-rooted problems in the sense of equity. Russian-speaking minority is one. Then we have distantly located small villages that are underserved, that we don't reach out to enough, to my opinion. And only now, after 2 years of discussion and communication, we slowly come to the same ground, and we acknowledge that maybe those small villages will need extra resources and extra reach out to get them to the same level. And maybe we will have to design special solutions for Russian kids if they want to learn in our school on Latvian basis. That we cannot treat these groups as everyone else, that it's not sufficient, that we have to reach out more, we have to do more to these groups to get them on the same level. And when we will have come to that agreement, and we slowly approaching this agreement, it is first step. Then come resources, then come trust that I, with my colleagues, can solve the problems, and then comes my responsibility for doing so. But first is acknowledging the problem, not putting it behind the desk and then under the carpet. These are the most important things.
I got the impression, but perhaps I'm wrong, that you speak about yourself. I have to. At the same time, I didn't really hear how local authorities can support you. What can you, or what would you like to expect from them?
It is always about resources. In the end of the game, it is about resources. When I see the problem, and if I see the problem of inequity, and I'm the first one to see it, because I work with kids and I work with parents, and I'm the closest. Of course, teachers are the closest, but I'm second closest to the group of people we are working with. And when I see this problem and I bring it up, you can either support me or not support me. And the minimum thing I ask is to get support for solving the problems I bring up to the table. And not saying, okay, we have different priorities. Putting the problems that I put forward on the top of agenda is quite something. It's not little, it's quite something. If you do that, then things start to happen. Okay, building that road or supporting kids with different language. Both things require resources. What will we do? We will build that road, or we will support your program. And that is quite something if they decide to support my program for Russian kids. Okay, so does it help any?
Thank you.
Just a few comments here. In addition to that, As I understand the world, we have two options. Either to invest money when it's the right time, or to over-invest when it's the wrong time. I'll explain. To invest money in preschool, school-age citizens, people, is the right time. Every penny we save from that investment by increasing class sizes, by reducing the teacher assistants if they are available. Most probably in the Baltic region, this is a luxury to have teacher assistants, to have specialists for special education need kids, and special education need is both those with diagnoses and also the ones who are absolutely talented. They need special needs specialists. If we save on those support structures, we are going to triple, if not more, the money we have to invest into social welfare later on, social care, unemployment, etc., different issues. So I would say investing into young people, the first 20, 25 years of age of life, is worthwhile many times later. So therefore, that's the support. Listen, come to the round table, discuss what sort of a community we would like to have. Those who are satisfied and will be able to bring in the tax money later on and won't like to leave, or the ones who are disillusioned and would like to search for bigger places, better places, where there are more opportunities, locally or internationally. Very simple.
Now I would like to give floor over to municipality representatives, but I'm not going to ask directly the same question. I would like to know what you as a municipality can do to help school leaders and teachers become learners.
Okay. Yeah, because as I represent Education and Information Services, as I said earlier, so we can't invest in teacher assistant as itself, or give another resources to the school, but we can invest in leaders and teachers learning in their professional development. And we have a rather interesting situation in Latvia, comparing with many other European countries, that we do not have a special training and professional development for school heads. Everybody who has a higher pedagogical education can be a school leader without any training. So in Riga Municipality, we understood that it is a problem because if you work only as a teacher or as deputy head, in very many cases when such people become school head, they have a lot of problems and a lack of managing and leadership skills. So it was our initiative, we have developed a special program for Riga teachers and for Riga teachers who work in preschools, a special program for prospective school and preschool heads. I have also taken two slides to see how does it look like. Okay, they will find. And what I wanted to say that a question to you when we announced the program for school leaders. We have 118 schools in Riga city with 7,800 teachers. How many teachers wrote an application for this program? 10. Okay, a bit more.
50.
And not 50. So only 30. So 30 from all this number wants to become sometimes in the future school head. So we can't find these slides. But what's inside in this program? So we started identifying leadership skills. And afterwards combining, let's say, blended learning with theoretical input about strategical thinking, about leadership skills, managing skills, combining with practical problem solving and activities like shadowing. These prospective school heads made their own plan what they would like to see in senior colleagues' school, and then they went to different 25 different school heads in Riga city, and afterwards analyzed what they have found. Then they had a special summer school for 3 days, so learning somewhere outside and learning about problem solving, about team building, and also we took them outside of Riga to see other schools, because the world is also outside of our capital city. So we had two programs. This program was the first, and it failed a bit. Unfortunately, because there was no test for those who applied for the program to identify leadership ability. So only one from this group now is a school head, and unfortunately not in Riga, in another city. But so we learned from our mistakes, and for the second program for preschool leaders from 25 people.
My story will consist of two parts. One of them from my current position, being in educational department, and it's a little bit not traditional story for Latvia, because our department serves needs for 11 municipalities, and we don't operate with financial resources. Our traditional role is to provide informative and managerial work. And my ambition is somehow to make a shift from this informative and managerial kind of work to give a room for real collaboration and mutual learning within our schools, within schools, between schools, etc. etc. And we started this with some our activities, but I won't tell about them now in details. And another initiative is together with Riga city, and we, in partnership with Microsoft Latvia, we created a program, collaborative program for school leaders from all Latvia. This program works already second year, and we made it as not as program as for teaching, but real program where leaders can learn from each other, and our task is, of course, promote their learning.
You didn't say the name of the program, so how to lead innovations in the workplace. And during a 1-year program, they learn how to do it, and they also learn ICT tools, making videos and telling very shortly about their fantastic idea of innovation to municipality, asking for additional financing.
Yes, and second year program is now coming up. It is data-driven leadership of innovation.
Thank you. I just wanted to add to what just Signa and Maya told, that perhaps it seems to you that it is going on like that elsewhere, but it's not true, because it to a great extent depends on each individual. And Signa is one of those individuals who is very interested in the work with educating school leaders. Yuri, what have you got to tell us?
I have to tell that Tartu is not so big as Riga. So I began to think that maybe it is not reasonable for Tartu to do the same things what were done in Riga, because I think just for instance these courses for school leaders are in our universities. No, I don't think it is very good idea to have some extra courses, because there are several courses and there are possibilities for school leaders to learn it. I also know that in Tallinn there is also special systems to accredit school leaders and schools, but I also I'm thinking maybe Tartu is not so big to do it, because we have also such systems also in the state level, so schools can compare with each other and get the best practice from other schools also on the state level. So just I am thinking whether Tartu has to do the same as Tallinn and Riga or not. But what I think what we have to do, the first thing is each school in Estonia should have a development plan. And the idea is that this development plan should be worked out together with parents, students and teachers. And so and it is a learning opportunity. Just not only courses are learning, but also just it was just mentioned earlier that I think this kind of learning is even more important than learning where you can get a degree or a master's degree, but just you are learning how to do your school better. And also the other thing what I have to say, that also there are different political parties and different views, and just I personally think that we should support more cooperation between schools, and also it is a possibility to learn from each other. Since now in Tartu there have mainly been a competition between schools and very little, but there are already some tendencies that schools are cooperating, and I think it is also a very good opportunity for learning. And then what I wanted to also say that what I got from this meeting or conference, how you call it, it is that we have to support the weakest. I would say that in Tartu, since now the policy has been just the opposite. If you are the better school, you get more money. If you are a better school, you get more students and so on. But I think it is not the best way, and we have to find out to support the weakest schools, and that all schools should be on the same level. So I think this is maybe what I got here. And just how to do it is first of all, I have to convince other people, because they have used to the opposite way of thinking, and it is very difficult.
Just a very short note. In Latvia and in Estonia, and I think in Lithuania is the same, and maybe in many other countries, we have got 3-year development plans. And I used to be a devout believer in 3-year and 5-year development plans, with outline of what we will do in the first year, and what we will do in the second year, and what we will do in the third year. I'm slowly coming to believe that what we should have is goals for 3 years and for this year. Because if organization is learning, if it's not static, then I know now much more than I did half a year ago. And I don't think that I can project the best solutions for the 3 years to come. And I think we should focus more on not development plan as an action plan. We should focus more on what we want to achieve in 3 or 6 years, depends on situation, and what we want to achieve this year. And operational plans, of course, are needed, and of course should be discussed, but on year-to-year basis, and of course if the plans are linked to infrastructure, then they are for the longer period of time. And one more good thing about that is that we can focus much more on what we want to achieve, and we can spend more time on what we want to achieve, and we can discuss more broadly of what we want to achieve. Just a short one.
We still have some minutes, so I will allow you to answer.
Yes. I agree, but I want to add to it. On one hand, I think there should be also long-term goals, not only 3 years, it is too short. And the other thing is there are 2 kinds of plans, and one kind is just we have a 5-year plan for 5 years. But the idea, what I support is we every year just change it. Yes, you are right. For every year we have the very exact plan for the next year, and then it is not. But we have to change. And in Estonia, it's a very interesting situation. For municipalities, we already have this system that you have to every year just change it. But for schools, it may happen that, as you described, that 5 years, and then after 5 years, I find that I have no plan at all.
As we have to finish now, I would like to ask you, each of you, one last question, to which Yuri already partly answered. And the question is, what would you like to take back home from this PLA? Well, idea, some thought, something you want to take back and work on it in your community, school?
Start. For me, the first thing that I will take home is the sense of support. That I see that there are a lot of players, as I say, who can support my ideas, and it helps a lot that you have student voices, parents' voices, another voices, ministries' voices, and we can find this common language.
Yeah, I can agree with Maya, because I really like this format of Latvian delegation where different parties are involved, and I think I will go back to Riga Municipality and tell about it, and we can organize discussions or problem-solving sessions in such a format.
Yeah, perhaps we have to go away from our country to realize that we can do things differently.
First of all, I would like to thank all those participants of the PLA who have stayed here from outside the Baltic countries, as this is a true embodiment of collaboration and interest in the common European well-being. It, on the other hand, illustrates how far we are from each other and from real collaboration. Because this sharing would have been even greater than it turned out to be, especially during the third day. Yet, being an optimist, I see the power which every single person invests in himself or herself present here today, and the only thing we can do is just to take the time to write the first email, take the time to make the first phone call, take the time to make the first Skype call, and I believe the members of this platform are ready to help, assist, and come with their ideas and thoughts. So be proactive. That's all I take with me.
Every good event makes me angry and hungry. And events like these make me angry for not being in the sweet spot of high quality performance in my school, in one area or the other, depends on the event. And they make me also hungry for getting there. So this event as well has made me angry for not being in the sweet spot on cooperation with parents, and hungry for being there. So thank you very much, everyone.